The apple crop is great this year. The trees are loaded. All the varieties are good. Peaches were real good this year. Pears are good. And the apples are just, we have a bumper crop of apples. So it's a really good year for apples. Well, we've been here forever. We were one of the first farms in New Hampshire to start doing pick your own back in the 60s, which was a fairly new thing. So we've been doing it for a long time. And most of the farms used to be wholesale farms. They really didn't have retail stands or pick your own. And we've been doing both since back in the 60s. So just people come, they've been doing it for years and they keep coming back. So, it's a great year to come out for apples. The weather's been really good this year. Perfect apple picking weather. The pumpkin crop is great. The apple crop is great. It's a really good year to come out for apples.
Festival. Don't forget to get some reindeer poop and monkey farts as Christmas gifts from Wicked Cool Candles.
It's actually pretty consistent. We typically have 40 to 50 crafters in the spring and then 50 plus crafters in the fall. The crafters come and go, but I'd say at least 2/3 of them are repeat crafters. They come back year after year. It's a very popular local event. This is actually, the fall fair is the 26th year, and the spring fair, which is a one-day fair, is about somewhere around 15 years. We have a list of crafters that have been here historically, and every January we send out an email reminder that the craft fair is coming up, and there's an application that they would fill out and let us know if they're going to join us for spring and fall or one or the other fair. So we keep track of the folks that come and reach out to them. This is a juried craft fair, which means that each of the artists make their own crafts and artwork, and they have very unique items. They'll find one-of-a-kind gifts, pottery, fabric, quilts, jewelry, gourmet foods. There's a wide range of homemade crafts here. Hundreds and hundreds of people come through here. We don't count them because we don't have a mechanism to do that, but we have a zucchini bread lady, and she hands out free samples and she can give us an estimation. Usually she hands out 700-800 a day.
Built well over 2 centuries ago, the town pound remains a product of a simpler time when the problem of restoring stray cattle was ever present. Located just off Mammoth Road, the structure was built fittingly with large granite boulders which were plentiful in the region and are an example of how the first colonial towns in New England were built. The cabins of the early settlers were constructed around a large open space called the Common. Here the cattle grazed and were more easily watched and protected. Eventually, settlements branched out and rugged stone walls were erected to mark the boundaries and provide fencing for the cattle as they were put out to pasture. In order to deal with the increasing number of stray cattle, it was voted in 1729 that 2 pounds would be built, and the responsibility and maintenance of each would fall under a designee called a pounder. Stray animals were kept here until they were ransomed by the owner. 6 years later, the need for a public pound arose, and it was voted that there should be a pound built at the expense of the town by the selectmen, and that it should be built near the first meeting house. The pound located here was built in 1831, a full 5 years before the current boundaries of Londonderry were established. Tapering from the base to the top, the pound was constructed in a workmanlike manner for a cost of $30.
First off, this is such a great opportunity for me to be able to step into the role as town manager for Londonderry. This is where I grew up. It's a place where my wife Susie grew up as well, and we both have family that still live in town. So I'm very familiar with the community, very familiar with a lot of the people that still live here. And so because of that, it was, as I said, a great opportunity for me to come back to where my roots are and to serve the people of Londonderry in this capacity. The staff has been great during this transition. The interim acting town manager, Bill Hart, has been wonderful as well, leading me through the transition and bringing me up to speed on a lot of the issues that are before the town right now. And so I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to be surrounding me as we go through this process. I think Londonderry's best days are yet to come. There's a lot of great projects on the horizon. Certainly looking at the master plan that was recently completed in town, I think is a great roadmap for where Londonderry wants to go and should go over the next 10 years. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for growth, both commercially and industrially, bringing more jobs into town and more economic development, but also some new residential places as well that I think are going to continue to make Londonderry a very vibrant community. What a great blessing it is to be in this position, and I'm very humbled by having the opportunity to serve the people, because that's what this job is about. It's about service. All of us that work here at Town Hall and that serve the people, whether it's in police or fire, the senior center, it's all about what's doing best for the community and being responsive to the people. And so I would hope during my tenure here, that's the culture we're going to have here in town for the employees, and we look forward to working with all of the citizens in the community.
This is our 9th year. It started, actually, Elaine Farmer started the Art in the Common show, and she ran it for a number of years, and then I started helping her about 4 or 5 years ago. Because one person just can't do it all. And then this year, well actually last year, Brian, her husband, took it over. And then this year, Jason, who is here, is our chair, and I'm the co-chair. We have 3 shows that we run every year. There's one in the spring at Max Apples. That's the one I usually run. It's called Art in Action, where people can come in. We're actually working on our pieces so they can see our process, answer any questions. In fact, we love, the more people the better, and especially kids. Gives them an exposure to art. They can actually talk to people that are working their art to sell. And it actually has resulted in some kids actually starting to take classes, so it's a wonderful process. Then we have this show, which is always at the second week in September. The themes used to be like oil, pastel, watercolor. They're not now. It's drawing, painting, 3D, sculpture, and photography. We've been trying to bring more people in. We're a little late getting our news out for this show this year, but it's a beautiful day, and it's, hopefully we'll get a lot of people coming through and see our work.